you saw me pull this print rack out of the closet. I have no idea what to do with all of these prints. I should sell them, but my website's currently down. I stopped paying for it because I didn't think I needed it. And now, of course, I'm in a situation where I could use it. If you're interested at all in buying any of these prints, I have a ton of them. They're all G-Clay fine art prints, archive quality. I've got a multitude of different paintings and prints of paintings. Just a sampling of a few. I'll maybe try to make a Facebook post or Instagram post or both or something, and put these up there. I'm going to discount them heavily. I don't know, they're good. I like the art that I made. Obviously, I showed it at a sidewalk art show in downtown Roanoke, and it did really well. The best show I had, actually. I still like a lot of the paintings I did, but obviously I'm kind of doing some new stuff, and I don't know, these are just kind of hanging out, and I'll take them to another show if I do more, and I'll sell them, but there's a lot of them. And I sold a lot too. I bought a ton of prints. So if you're interested in any of those, maybe check. I don't know if there'll be a link in the description or not, but you just go to Booth 42 on Facebook or Instagram. Those are linked below. You can find links to somewhere to see these or purchase them, or just comment below that you want one and I'll reach out to you. Like I said, I like this print here. I think it's probably a 12 by 12 if I had to guess. Let me see exactly here. Yeah, 12 by 12 print was $30. So, and it's 14 by 14. So you'd frame it to, or you'd mat it to 12 by 12. But I don't know, or you could be like me and just, hang them up on the wall. I get other artist prints and I just slap them up there in the plastic or not, and just. But these are G-Clay. They're archival quality, so they will last a while. They'll withstand a bit of sunlight for years to come. So, yeah. Let me know if you want some, because I have a ton of them and they're just sitting here, and I've moved this print rack from the closet to out here, from out here to the closet, I don't know how many times. So if you're interested in prints, that would help me out a lot to clear out some inventory. But anyways, I think I'm happy with what I've done so far. I've cleared off my desk, put all the Christmas stuff away, so I've got a bit more room to paint. Took the computer out of here because I felt like it was preventing me from using this space for painting. Maybe not preventing me from using it, but it was definitely the focus of it. And I've changed this room, I don't know how many times over the years, you probably know from this channel, but I feel like I can easily have a computer and use it as a central place that I am prone to just watch YouTube. I'm prone to just, scroll on whatever on it. So I don't really need it too much. Like, I have it if I need it. I'll just have it out there in the living room. And I've got the MacBook too that I bought this year, or rather last year. So I've got that if I need it, and I can just pull it up on here like you saw. But yeah, so I'm trying to make this space a little bit more me, a little bit more fun to be in. I've fought my wife for so long on trying to invade her space over here. She does jewelry and crochet, so we have all of her stuff stored here, which I'm glad. I like that we are able to be in here together, especially when I'm wanting to paint later at night or into the evening. We could both come in here and hang out, and it's not like we're totally isolated from one another. The next goal in this room, I think, is going to be Maybe moving my 3D printer out because I don't really use it and it frustrates me. I like the idea of using it more than I actually like using it. So I may just take that over to my buddy Isaac's house and let him play with it. Maybe print some stuff for me. I don't know. We'll see. But I like to get that out of here, kind of move the bookshelf maybe down a little bit, or just maybe another bookshelf, honestly, because I have a ton of books and I tend to stack them too deep. So yeah, I think that's the next step. I'd like to hang more stuff on the walls here. I have more of my artwork that I could hang, stuff that I like. Other stuff that I don't like just lives back there or in the closet. So yeah. Oh, this is one I really like to hang, and I'm ashamed I haven't hung it yet. And it's a little askew in the plastic, so forgive me. But it's an artist named Kevin Chen, I believe. But he does like watercolor on rice paper, and it's just beautiful, stunning landscapes. This is a print, of course, but yeah, I want to get this one framed and matted and framed eventually. I bought this several years ago, and I have not done my diligence with hanging it. As an artist, you're really bad about actually hanging and displaying artwork. At least I am. So I've done a decent job of it, but I want to do better. So yeah, that's I say something literally just fell off the wall. Yeah, that may not be the best hanging method after all. Anyways, yeah, so I've been painting. So I've got some artwork that I've been doing using gold leaf, acrylic, and oils. Doing the acrylic and collage elements first, and then doing oil over top of it. So if I feel like I might put this on the screen or punch into it, I don't know. But so you can see, I mean, I've just been doing some different stuff, trying to find a style, whatever that means. So I feel like I'm leaning into the abstract stuff a little bit more, which I like doing. I like the process of it. But I have a hard time like just making an abstract painting. I always feel like I need to add some sort of subject to a piece. So yeah. Cool. I think that's it.
against the enemy. Whoa, no, I'm not giving up now.
So today, I think I'm going to do a little bit more painting. Yesterday I painted a bit on this, as you've seen, and today I worked this morning at my church from 8 to 12. Today's Friday, so usually I don't have to do a whole lot on the weekends, just a little bit here and there. So for the most part, I have this afternoon open and free to paint and to piddle around on whatever else that I want to get into. So yeah, currently it is 3:20, and that's because I already did a little bit of painting and I recorded some other footage which was in slow motion, and so that's why I am filming this now at 3:20 rather than at 1 o'clock when I'm usually done with lunch. So anyways, regardless, I just added a layer of pearlescent or iridescent. I'm not entirely sure what it is. It's Golden's High Flow Acrylic, and it is iridescent pearl, and that's the fine one. So I guess that means the particulate in it is more fine. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know you could use these in an airbrush, so I might have to try that out. I have an airbrush back there, right there. Currently, there is a Ninja Turtle sitting on it. So, But yeah, so I just started using this. I think it's just gonna put like a nice like reflective sheen on it, which I did the gold foil as well. I applied that yesterday and let it dry. That looks really good, and so I think with the iridescent pearl kind of on top of that, it's just gonna sort of tie everything together. So yeah, I'm gonna get stuck into a little bit more painting, and then I don't know what else I'll get into today. There's not much left of today, so we'll see how it goes. Oh, one thing I did want to talk about that I talked about earlier, but it was slow motion. So, I have this book. It's a book of haikus. The author is Jonathan Dirksen. I don't know who he is. When I did the Kickstarter last year, Print Ninja, the fulfillment or the print company that I was going to go through for the book, I went and got quotes with them, and they sent me a book or a box of samples, and this was in there. And it's just full of like different haikus and just really, decent. I say decent, really good, because I'm not a poet, so what I can tell anyway. So I think the guy went to Japan or lived in Japan for a while. Anyways, they're all sort of in that, haiku is a Japanese form of poetry. So, but they're just really nice to like, whether it's a good thing or not. I rip out some of these and I sort of find like central themes throughout the painting and the haikus. And so I like to kind of collage them onto the work. So you can see this one here. I've collaged one on there yesterday. And I do that with other paintings as well. If the author of that book is watching this by some 1 in a million chance, let me know if you don't want me to use your stuff. Because I won't if you don't want me to. But otherwise, I'm going to use it. I did this painting a while back. It is basically the story from Exodus where Moses strikes the rock. And God tells him to strike the rock. And Moses does it, and water flows through because Israelites are complaining like they always do. That they're going to die because they're thirsty and they don't have anything to drink. So God provides. And then same situation again later on happens where the Israelites are complaining again. So Moses takes it upon himself to strike the rock again, even though God told him, speak to the rock. I think I'm getting that story right, but if I'm not, let me know. So anyways, basically the second time Moses goes and does it, he does it his way instead of God's way. And so it's sort of about that pivotal moment of, are you going to choose God's way or your way? And that's where I kind of feel like I'm at in life right now, is I'm finally choosing, to follow God and to trust God, to fully surrender everything. So to me, this was like sort of a pivotal piece, as my sister called it, Destiny. I sent her a picture of it. She's like, oh, that looks like a really pivotal piece. And I was like, that's a good way of putting it. So yeah, thanks, Destiny. But yeah, I don't know. That's just, I had that idea in my head. I did use gold foil on this one as well. I don't know if you could tell very well, but basically layering acrylic, gold foil, collage, and then painting oil over top of that. So to kind of pull it all back together. So I've been just enjoying working on some paintings and figuring out sort of how abstraction plays into my style. I do like to paint subjects. I like to paint things. And so just figuring out where I can abstract, where I can pull out different themes. I've noticed that I have a tendency to go really bold with color. And so I'm trying to play around with pulling out some more like gray tones to balance out the whole piece. So you can see on this one, I've started using some like lavenders and gray blues and that kind of thing to make everything sort of balance a little better. I really like using the foil and collage elements, like I said earlier. So, yeah, I'm gonna get stuck into probably another hour to hour and a half of painting. So, hope you enjoy it. So right now I'm just trying to establish lights and darks and push and pull, sort of what's in the background versus what's in the foreground. I want to make this tree pop quite a bit, and then of course I want the foreground to look like it's in the foreground and the background to sort of push back and look like it's kind of fading away is kind of a good way that, or at least a way I think about it. So just playing around right now, trying to find a good balance of everything. So you can kind of see how I'm doing that here. The stencil that I used is really bold shape language. And so I'm just kind of kicking it back here and there in places just to give me a little bit more control over that background. And of course you gotta finger paint a little bit, so again, just pushing and pulling, letting the texture build up quite a bit, but I still want to leave a lot of that gold information in there. I don't want to cover it all the way up because it does look nice. But this red color or orange or whatever it looks like on camera, it's orange to me, but it's very strong. And when you're painting and you're thinking about landscapes, especially in landscape painting, typically you want the background to be a little bit cooler. It's like whenever you look at like a mountain range or something, the mountains typically look a little bit more blue or purple. That's because the atmosphere is filtering out certain light, and the blue light is what gets through. It's also why the sky looks blue and all of that as well, because the atmosphere filters out certain spectrums of light before they get to our eye. So I'm kind of going in a little crazy here. I don't know how much this I'll keep. I'll show you in a second if this is too much, which it's kind of looking like it is. So my brush is mostly dry now. I'll kind of come back in with my hand, knock some of that down, but if I don't like that much, which I kind of don't hate it, I can wet it. When I wet it, I can go back over it with a towel or something to pull some of that color back. And I think I actually like a little bit of that color in there. Now we're getting really gray. So I think I do want to let some of that color run. Just to pull it back. And you get some nice textural drips and stuff out of it too. So now, since that orange layer of paint was really dry, and this top layer of paint of gray is a little more tacky, the gray will run down and leave gray strips, but it will reveal some orange beneath it up here where I squirted it. So now we've got the orange and gray drips kind of on this side. So you can see where that paint, the water is making the gray paint streak down, leaving gray streaks through the bottom, but it is leaving orange towards the top where the paint is running. And so that's a technique that I use pretty often to get sort of dynamic textures and different layers coming through the painting. But you can kind of see overall that I am trying to push and pull the lights and darks through the painting. So I'm trying to get a good variety of value. And the next thing I'll do is put in like my darkest darks. Even though that's pretty dark there towards the bottom, I still want to have an even darker, almost black in there. So I'm pretty satisfied with it at this point. Excited to see where it goes. Alright, well, I think I'm going to maybe keep painting a little bit more. Like I said, throwing in those dark values. Sort of playing with those light and dark tones. But I'm pretty happy with where it's going so far. I really like, after adding that gray and letting sort of the textures drip and stuff down, I really am kind of liking the direction of it. I think once I put the dark values in and I'm able to see the full contrast of the painting, I think I'll end up enjoying it a little bit more. But anyways, I'm going to wrap this up here. I may throw in some more footage if I decide to paint tonight, but otherwise I'll wrap it up. I hope that this, seeing a little bit into the process, I'll show more of it as I finish the painting later on, but I hope it's at least somewhat interesting. I think that abstract, especially, and understanding painting and composition and everything like that, I find it very interesting how different people approach it. This is how I tend to approach it, at least recently, with this style and with this direction that I'm going in. I'll show you one piece that I've added oil to. Painted it for my sister. I really like this piece. Again, it's a little more like pastel with those purples and pinks and everything in it. But I really like bringing in like the greens over here and stuff. And used a lot of oil pastel, like actual crayons. And so using those for mark making towards the end, I find I really enjoy doing that, just getting kind of expressive with it. But yeah, so this is the kind of style that I've been kind of exploring recently. And again, you saw this one earlier. So just kind of playing around with different stuff like that. And I've got one more that I've done. I don't know if it's probably not finished, but you can kind of see that as well. So just kind of, playing around with different abstracted methods and textures and subjects, and trying to find a good balance of subject versus abstract. Do I go for any kind of realism, or do I just sort of like get the general idea of a subject in there? A lot of my previous painting experience has been somewhat realistic, at least trying to get to a maybe more impressionistic, where I'm getting the idea of the subject down rather than the actual like hyper realistic detail. I kind of never really cared about being hyper realistic. Even in landscapes, I feel like just getting the idea of a tree is better than getting, every single little bark detail or leaf in there. Letting kind of the brush do most of the work. And so that's what I've been exploring a little bit more. But I really do still like the fantasy stuff. And so I'm trying to find a good balance between, do I put fantasy subjects in these kinds of paintings, or are they whimsical enough for me to be considered fantasy? Whether it's like a fantastical landscape or, like I said, just a whimsical marriage of color and shape and all of that. So I enjoy doing it. I enjoy the process of these kinds of paintings a lot more than I enjoy, say, like, the fantasy stuff that I've done. I still enjoy that kind of process. It's a more illustrative process. But it's definitely a lot more tedious, where you have to do a drawing. Sometimes you have to trace that drawing onto the final paper or canvas, and then you have to render out endless amount of detail. So I like doing it. I just don't know if, in a professional sense, if I want to go this direction, that I want to do like fantasy hyper detailed illustrations. Because ultimately I want to enjoy it, but not just enjoy it like for the sake of saying, oh, I enjoy painting. But I think painting is a unique expression, just like music, just like any other art form. I think that there's a lot you could say with a painting that you can't say with anything else. And I like the storytelling aspect of like illustrative fantasy works. And I like the abstract sort of feeling that you get from a lot of my more recent paintings. So I think if I can't find a happy middle ground, I'll end up just doing both as I see fit. I mean, there's nothing stopping me from painting fantasy landscapes and characters and, more whimsical stuff, and then having the more like abstracted, subjects and backgrounds and more expressionistic paintings as well. But I'm excited. I might explore some like more fantasy type subjects. I've done that a little bit. I might pop those up on the screen, kind of having like a central character and then an abstracted background. But it just doesn't quite. I'm not super happy with them. So, but anyways, I think I said I was going to end this video like 10 minutes ago. But if you've enjoyed watching this process so far, maybe just like the video or share it if you want. But otherwise, consider subscribing. I'm going to be posting a lot more frequently. At least that's the idea. I'm focusing on capturing nice video because I have the equipment to do it. And I want to share what I'm doing, but I don't want it to be so highly edited and polished that it takes me 3 weeks to do one video. So I'm just trying to like document as I'm going what I'm doing day to day. And hope you guys enjoy it. If you do, I would appreciate following along this journey with me. And let me know what kind of, what you think about this painting. Let me know what, maybe you would do differently, or, if you're interested in purchasing something like this. I'm open to doing either commissions, or if you like the artwork you see, if you want prints of it, let me know. Like I said, I'm still in the discovery stage right now, so I don't know if I'll do prints of every single painting that I make. But if you are interested in this piece, purchasing it when I'm done, leave a comment or message me. You can find me on Instagram or Facebook. That's probably the easiest way to reach out to me. My booth42.com email is no longer active, so if you see that out there anywhere on my socials, that is not an active email. So just message me on those platforms and I'll reach out to you. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed watching me clean my studio and paint for 2 days. So, alright, thank you.